What is up, guys? It's Funk Monkey here. Welcome back to my channel today. I hope you're having a really good day. On today's topic, we're going to be talking about top 10 cars I want to see in GTA 5. If you like the video, please leave a like and also subscribe to my YouTube channel for GTA 5 content. With that out of the way, let's get right into the video. Coming at number 1 are 3 cars. These were closely tied together, and also they're made by the same manufacturer. What I'm talking about is Koenigsegg. Specifically, the Koenigsegg Agera R, the Koenigsegg 121, and the Koenigsegg Regera, which is the new hypercar from Koenigsegg. So why do I have... Let's start first thing with the Koenigsegg Regera R. Now, these cars, of course, will be in the Overclock family because it's time for a new overclock car. We have Pegassi that had a lot of cars. We have Progens, we had the Vaches, Pifter as well. So overclock needs an upgrade from their regular cars. And these 3 contenders do actually make sense in GTA 5. But let's talk one by one. Let's start with the Koenigsegg Regera R. It is basically an updated version of the Koenigsegg CCX, which is the car that the entity is based on. Obviously, it has these very nice and aggressive lines, and that leads me to the Koenigsegg 121, which is a hardcore version of an Agera, but obviously it has a 1-to-1 ratio, same weight, same horsepower, same torque. It is essentially a beast of a hypercar. Now, maybe there won't be any difference between the two. Maybe they could eliminate the Regera R and just add the 1-to-1. But a car that must be added to the Overclock family is the Regera, which is the new hypercar from Koenigsegg. It is an amazing looking car. It has that carbon fiber diffuser in the front, and it's also a convertible. Now keep in mind, every Koenigsegg can put its roof down, well, remove its roof, and becomes a convertible supercar. We don't have a lot of convertible supercars in the game. Now the cool thing about these cars is that the Koenigsegg 121 and the Regera have active rear arrow, which obviously is a spoiler, activates when the car is going at really high speed, except for the Agera. Jesus Christ, their names are so similar. Agera R, which is a fixed wing. Moving on to another beautiful machine. It is the McLaren P1 GTR. Now you might be thinking, we already have the T20, which is the P1 in the game. Why do we need another one? Well, it is simple, guys. This is the hardcore version of the McLaren P1 in real life. And I've always said in live streams, I was about to say P1. The T20 would look amazing if it gets the McLaren P1 GTR treatment. Now, a solution for Rockstar, if they don't want to add another version of the T20 to the game, is just add it to Benny's. Put the price on it and people will actually get it. Now, visualization differences between this and the regular P1 is, of course, the rear wing. The steering is quite different, actually. It's way lower. It has these massive exhausts in the back, front canards, front splitter, and it would be cool if the T20 would have livery, if this option is ever available. Now, another car that I really want to see, and I think it should make a huge return, is one in the Bugatti family. Of course, we're talking about the Bugatti Chiron. This is the successor to the Bugatti Veyron, and it's an amazing car. I've never expected to say this from a Bugatti, but damn, they actually killed it. Of course, they kept it as close to the concept as possible, and it just looks badass in black, like full on black, and it's gonna way more aggressive than the Veyron. and this would actually make sense to add in the game. The Adder was one of the most expensive cars in the game before, of course, the T20, Osiris, etc. joined in, and the Adder is now more of an underdog. It is a nice car to drive. It has an amazing engine noise, and it would make a lot of sense. Now moving on into tuner cars that I want to see in either tuner DLC or just added randomly. Let's talk about first the Toyota Supra, and I mean, it's a Toyota Supra. Everyone's been asking for this car to be added in GTA. It would be an amazing addition to the game, not because we already have some tuner cars here and there, but as far as I know, we don't have the Toyota Supra. Maybe, just maybe, the Lampadari Ferrero GT resembles the FT1 concept, which is the other car that I want to see in this game, which is the FT1 concept. It is essentially the Supra successor, and it's kind of way more futuristic and extreme looking than the other one. Now, either one of the two I would be happy to be added in the game, but I would prefer to see the Supra more than the FT1. And of course, the other one is Godzilla itself. We're talking about the Skyline, Nissan Skyline R34 Spec V-Spec V. I think it's V-Spec. Correct me if I'm wrong. But we already have the GTR. We already have the 2000 GTR, which is the older version of the Skyline. We need the R34. Everyone's been asking for it. Rockstar, please add it to the game. It's such a beautiful car. Even adding it to Benny's, like just the way the Sultan and the Banshee did. Anyways, it would be an amazing addition to the game. Of course, it's an all-wheel drive car, which would class it as a sports car. Now, moving on into the only vehicle I have in this list classified as an off-road car, and one of the most amazing pieces of British engineering is the Land Rover Defender. Now, as far as I know, there's no Land Rover Defenders except for the Range Rover in the game. It would be an amazing addition. People love Land Rovers. It's an iconic car, truck, and added to the game, it would make not a lot of sense, but there are some ridiculous looking vehicles, and adding a Land Rover Defender to the game would actually fit alongside the other ones. Moving on into another sports car, it is the amazing Mercedes AMG GT. It is, of course, a sports car, two-door coupe, the successor to the SLS AMG. Now, there are three versions of it. There's, of course, the normal one, the AMG GT. Then there's the AMG GTS, which has a fixed wing and some cosmetic differences. Then you have an all-wheel drive beast known as the AMG GTR. Now, this car would obviously be a benefactor and would be a successor to the benefactor Serrano. It is such a beautiful car, and my voice cracked there. It is already looking a lot like the benefactor Serrano. We have the elongated tail lights. It has wide ass headlights in the front, massive grille. So essentially, it could just be a Serrano reskinned. Either way, it is a Mercedes. No one ever complains about a Mercedes. It is just an amazing car. And moving on to another Progen, believe it or not, which is a McLaren 675 LT. Now, when they introduced the T20 to the game, I've always thought to myself, they should add the lower class McLarens, which is the 12C, 650S, 675 LT, and the 570S, which class as a sports car. But of course, if you don't know a lot about cars, the 675 LT stands for 675 long tail, of course, with the massive elongated spoiler at the back. It is kind of a smaller version of the McLaren P1. It competes way better than its predecessor, and it's actually an amazing car. I would imagine this competing, as I said, in the sports class, along, or maybe even fit between sports class and a super class. Kind of has a bit of both, but we'll just have to see. Now, two cars that came head to head and I didn't know what position they should get is the Lamborghini Asterion LP910-4. Now, this is a concept I think back in 2015, maybe 14. Essentially, Lamborghini introduced an electric car concept, or it could be a hybrid. It might be a hybrid, which it was way different than the cars we got used to. Now, this car would look so beautifully if it's actually added to the game. Cool feature about this car is, I didn't mention, is the engine cover in the back actually opens to let more air get in the vehicle. Now, of course, this won't affect the performance of the car in the game, but having that feature on a car like this would essentially make it one of my top 5 favorites. Now, alongside it came the BMW i8. What happened to the BMW family in GTA? It's long forgotten. It's not even getting noticed. As far as I know, we've never got a car that is under the Uberman family. And I think the BMW i8 would make an amazing contender for it. It's a very stylish car. It kind of looks like a supercar, but it's more of a sports car. And this is just another photo. I mean, look at that render. Imagine that car being added to Benny's and actually be able to add that massive intercooler at the front, massive wheel arches, a huge spoiler, blacking out the headlights and all of that. Then moving on to the top 10, the car that comes on the top of the list, the Hennessy Venom GT. Alongside it, with its kind of successor, the Hennessy Venom F5. Let's talk about Hennessy Venom first. This is a car that I actually kind of expected to be added in GTA, but it never showed up. Why? Why is that? It is already in the game. We have the Voltic, of course. Just elongate it, make it differently. It would be such an amazing car to add in the game. Of course, in my opinion, if this car would be added in the game, it would make sense if this car is the supercar killer, if you may call it that, of the game. Essentially, it's just a Lotus Elise or Exige. I think it's an Elise, elongated. Then we move on to the Venom F5, which is the updated version and kind of close to production, as I heard, correct me if I'm wrong, of an updated version of the Hennessy Venom. Now, it's completely different from the Hennessy Venom GT. It looks way more aggressive. It has way more angular lines. It kind of looks like a P1 LaFerrari / Hennessy Venom hybrid, which is combining best of both worlds. I don't know if it has an active rear wing, but it looks like it does. But if this car gets added to the game, it would just look amazing. Of course, just like the Hennessy Venom, it would make sense if this car would be the top 1 supercar in the game, aka the supercar killer from America. But that is all for the video today, guys. Comment down below what cars you want to see added in GTA 5. That was my top 10 list, well, technically top 15. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and also share it with your friends. Let them know what you guys think about this idea. With that out of the way, thank you very much for watching, guys. This is Funk Monkey signing out.